Hey everybody, it's Sammy, your favorite Ozark Canadian. And if you've landed one of these sweet machines right here, like this Tascam DA-88 I got right here, maybe you got one of those nice 38s, or you've landed that coveted 98 with 24-bit recording. You're a lucky dog. There's one important step you're going to have to do before you even get started. You got to format your tape. That's right, if you just load a tape into one of these suckers all willy-nilly, it's not even going to work. You're going to think the machine's broken. Just like I did when I first got one of these. I threw a tape in here and I was like, what a piece of crap. It doesn't even work. I've been ripped. Well, a little deep diving into a very thick manual, I found out you got to actually format the tape. Formatting the tape prepares your tape by printing important timecode information onto it, as well as subcode data. Now, what the heck is subcode data? I don't know, and I don't really care, but the manual says we gotta have it, so we gotta have it. It's kind of like a hard drive. If you don't got everything set up right, you're not going to be able to store your data on it. And these things are digital. Even though I like the analog workflow, we are dealing with a digital machine on, funny enough, analog-style tape. So what a weird world. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started.
Getting started.
An important thing you're going to need is the correct tape. These are little high 8 tapes right here, but they're a little bit different. When I was searching out these machines, everybody on the internet says you got to have these DTRS formatted tapes. What is that? It says Digital Tape Recording System. I don't know, I guess they put special magic in them to make them work with these machines.
Packing the tape.
Now that you've selected the right tape for your recording adventure, you got to pack the tape. Why do we got to pack the tape? Well, a lot of this tape is over 30 years old. I just bought this one recently, and it was still in the plastic rack, but she's probably been sitting on a shelf somewhere for a long, long time. And there's all kinds of probably loose metal particles on this tape. So what packing the tape does is fast forwards it all the way from beginning to end, and then when you get to the end, you just rewind it back to the end. Why is this so important? Well, those loose metal particles, they're no good. You don't want to deal with that, because what happens is if this thing records any digital audio onto the tape, onto a little loose particle, and it sheds off or falls off later, you'll get what's called a dropout. Now, what's a dropout? That's not what happened to me in high school. No, instead it's when you record audio, but then it disappears. It's kind of like if someone was hitting random little mute buttons in your audio. You don't want that unless you're doing it. That's no good. So we got to pack the tape. What we do is we load the tape in to the machine. I've already loaded this one. Then what you want to do is push the fast forward button on your machine. And then you wait. It makes a pretty wild sound when it gets a ripping. Sometimes it sounds like these machines are going to blow up when they're doing this. I don't think they do. Patience is always a very important quality to have when you're dealing with this kind of equipment. All right, we're at the end of our tape. She's finally slowing down. It has kind of an auto regulator when it knows it's getting near the end. The sound even changes. And we're at the end. It said EOT, end of tape. Good job, Tascam. Now what we do is we hit the rewind button. And we're heading back to the beginning. Take me home to the place I belong. Recording on a Tascam DA-88 in 2021. Won't you come along? All right. We're at the BOT, beginning of tape. Very nice. Okay, we're packed up and ready for the next step.
Formatting the tape.
Now that we're all packed and ready to rock, it's time to format the tape. It's super simple. All you got to do is come over here on your machine. There's a small format button right over here next to the eject section. You want to go ahead and push it once. Now it's blinking. Now, the good people at Tascam were smart enough to know that we're all idiots and that we would accidentally push that button sometimes and record over our already recorded material. No good. So what you got to do is actually push it twice. Blinky, solid means we're ready to format. Then what you do is come over here to this FS section and you pick your sampling rate. I always keep it on 44.1 for music production, but you could choose 48 if you'd like. There you go. Now you're ready to go. All we got to do now is push and hold record and push the play button. And now we are getting started on, there we go. Now we're getting started formatting our tape. What it's doing at this exact moment is printing timecode and all that fancy subcode data that makes our music sound so sweet. What do you do now? Well, this tape's 113 minutes, and it formats it in real time. So you've got to go find something to do because there's no speeding up this process. That's almost under 2 hours of tape, which is great. So maybe you should go read a book or clean your house. Maybe you should practice that instrument some more because if you remember, there's no editing on this sucker. All right, we've reached the end of our tape, and it automatically kicked into rewind mode. You know what this means? We're formatted. All we gotta wait is for this sucker to whir back to the beginning, and we'll be ready to record our sweet, sweet music. How did you feel about your formatting, Mr. Tascam? He's ready for a nap. It'll finally creep the very last few seconds. And just like that, we are ready to rock and roll. At this moment, we could arm our tracks, push record after we've plugged some stuff in, and start making music. You are all formatted.
Letter of the week.
Today's letter comes from Robert in Calico Rock, Arkansas. He writes, Dear Sammy, I noticed the fan on my Tascam DA-88 can be pretty loud. What do you do in your setup to compensate for the extra noise in the control room? Really enjoying the videos. Keep up the good work. Well, thanks, Robert. I really appreciate that you took the time to write in. Yes, the Tascam DA-88 has a little fan on the side that can make some extra noise if you're really paying attention. And I guess you could put your Tascam DA-88s in another room if the sound was bothering you too much, but you know what I do? I just embrace the noise. I mean, to be honest, this isn't always about recording the cleanest audio. It's more about having fun with great equipment and having fun making natural music performances. So what I do is I just don't worry about it. A little extra noise makes the music sound cool. But if it really is bothering you, a quick, easy trick you can do is to use the rejection point of your microphones. So what you want to do is, like on this microphone, the rejection point is directly in the back. So if you're recording someone in your control room, like a vocalist or a guitar or something, just point the rejection point at the fan. So the fan is on the back here, or the machine is right here. So I would probably just point the mic like this. Because back here you can't hear anything very well. Anyway, that would be my solution for that. Robert, thanks for writing in. If you ever have any questions, feel free to write me a letter at Sammy in the High Eights at 1322 Bradley Drive, Suite number 2, Mountain Home, Arkansas, 72653. We'd love to hear from you.
Final thoughts.
Now, don't forget, if you've gotten one of these sweet Tascam High 8 machines, you got to format that tape before you start. Pick you up a DTRS format tape and follow the instructions we gave you today. If you ever have any questions about audio or video, feel free to send me an email at sammyandthehigh8s@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to get back with you. Hey, I'm so glad you came by this week, and I sure hope that this week has been a lot better than the last. We'll see you next time.